And we are live. Super excited. Welcome to the Restaurant Marketing Podcast, where we talk about how multi unit brands successfully market at the local level. Today on the show, we have Adam Gollum of Primanti Brothers. Primanti Brothers, with their 37 locations based in Pittsburgh, are known for their giant sandwiches with French fry stuffed right inside them. You can see them behind us here. Some call them an institution, some would say they're a cultural icon, and most would just say they are awesome. They've been in business since 1933 and named one of America's classic restaurants by the James Beard Foundation. I didn't even know James Beard Foundation could do that. That's amazing. Adam is their president and chief marketing officer. Adam has worked for a number of well-known Pennsylvania brands, including Eaton Park and Giant Eagle, two brands that my family has definitely frequented as residents of Northwestern Pennsylvania. Adam was awarded the American Marketing Association Retail Marketer of the Year, and most recently was recognized by Nation's Restaurant News as one of the most influential restaurant executives in the United States. That does not surprise me. He has three daughters and grew up eating Primanti Brothers sandwiches. Fun fact, Adam once rode a bicycle from Seattle to New Hampshire. I have lots of questions about that. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rev.
Super excited. So do you remember your first Primanti Brothers experience?
Yeah, I think I was probably 5 or 6, and my grandfather took me to the original location and kind of bellied up to the bar, had that first sandwich, and fell in love. 40 some years later, still eating them.
And do you have you had a consistent favorite sandwich the whole time, or has it changed over?
Heavy bacon cheese. I'm a big bacon cheese fan. I'm a big pastrami fan. Those are probably my two go-tos, but I really work the menu. But I think until I was probably interviewing with the brand, I really didn't look at a menu because I walked in and said, "This is what I'm going to have," and then I started looking at the menu. I was like, "When did they add all these items?"
Yeah. I've only ever been once, and I've only ever had one sandwich, and my experience is very limited. So I had it at a Pittsburgh Pirates game.
Yep, we have 3 locations in stadiums in Pittsburgh, and it's like tied to the Pittsburgh culture, but really have grown way beyond Pittsburgh, which has been great to see.
Yeah, by the way, for anybody that's never eaten there or is a baseball fan, that is probably one of the best stadiums ever, mostly in part because of the food that's available.
Yeah, I think it's been voted best baseball stadium in America with one of the worst teams in it.
Don't tell my late father. So
I know we have high hopes for the Pirates. Moments of hope there, but we'll see.
Awesome. Well, look, this is a show about marketing. That's what we're going to talk about. Adam, how do you help each of your locations to be successful in their marketing needs? We can go any direction you want here.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, we provide them with tools, both at a kind of a corporate level. So we've got a ton of digital advertising programs that are running that they don't have to worry about, that drive traffic back into their restaurants. And we track the traffic, so we know what's actually been driven, very ROI driven. We've got a loyalty program, award-winning. I think it still has lots of room to grow, but probably a really strong loyalty program in the restaurant industry, with a large number of, we call our customers fans, so large number of fans in it. We give them tools to drive business around their restaurant, kind of that 4 walls outside the restaurant and then really in the neighborhood. And then the brand as itself, it's the most amazing brand I've ever worked on. The ability to get PR and unsolicited PR from national influencers to national media, to the ability to create events out of PR that get picked up, insane ideas that come up that we execute that the media covers. I mean, the brand has such a 90-year following that it really has an ability to create national media attention.
You kind of overtime earned marketing, right?
Yeah. And we have, I think I was very fortunate coming into this role. We had over 400,000 fans on Facebook. For a brand our size to have that many is pretty powerful, and we've been able to really activate that. We don't do any traditional media. We were going down the path of no traditional media going into the pandemic, and the pandemic started, and we were like, that's the end of that. And it was literally everything had to drive $1 in that afternoon. And we went full blown digital and never looked back.
So no radio, no print, no TV.
No, we'll do radio and billboards for grand openings when you're trying to get broad awareness fast, but 100% digital advertising is the strategy.
What about direct mail? We
do some direct mail. It's tougher. The cost of direct mail is tough. We use a lot of direct mail for kind of, I used to call them SOS, the save our store, but save our restaurant, where we have some challenging. We'll use some direct mail. But the way digital is today, you can really reach a broad group, and the way we have some technology to track people that they actually saw the ad and they came in is powerful.
I would definitely want to break a lot of that down. Can we
Yeah.
talk about Save Our Store real quick? I think this would be fascinating.
Yeah.
So when you get a store or a group of stores or whatever that calls you is like, Adam, we need help. What do you do?
Yeah, I think so. I've worked in multiple retailers and restaurants. So I'm working in a world that we call them restaurants, not stores, but that's um, it's at first we dig into the data. We're very analytically driven. So like try to understand what is causing the problem. Is it competitive entrenchment? Is it construction going on? Is there an operational issue? Is there a day part that's lagging? And then really build a strategy against that, and then kind of develop the campaign based on that. And it's really multiple approach. So we start within the four walls. Like, what are we operationally doing? Are we executing well? Where the opportunities exist? Making sure we're running programs in-house to get people to sign up for loyalty, get people to push that extra drink. And then you start looking at the neighborhood. Very successful fundraising program, Dine and Donates. They drive a ton of business, great way to connect with the community. And then we look for amped up social media advertising. And then direct mail is kind of the cannon or the bomb to drop. You start with the pistol and work your way up to the bomb.
Sure.
Yeah, and ultimately, if we drive people in direct mail, I always say you got to get them to connect to loyalty. So that's like a big focus. If you get in the door, we got to get you in our loyalty program. If we get you in our loyalty program, we've got about 70 different campaigns running at any time. A lot of AI-driven campaigns to push people through flows and get them from a new user to a lifelong fan.
Yeah, this sounds like a duh statement because it is, but it's amazing how people don't think about it. But like the cost of acquisition for a guest is so expensive when the margin is so small that you absolutely have to drive a second, third, fourth, fifth trip for it to make sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, I worked in restaurants and I spent 7 years of my life in the grocery industry. And a good day in grocery is like 1.5% margin.
Wow.
Now we were a $10 billion company, so you could, but
it's a big 1.5.
Yeah, it's a lot of 1.5s, a lot of pennies, a lot of cans of corn to pay that bill today. That I worked with a great head of operations, and we'd come up with these ideas. He would look at me and be like, Adam, do you know how many cans of corn I have to sell to pay that back? Which was great to level set back at that.
That was the index for all conversation.
It was all conversations reverted back to cans of corn. But it was good to think through that as you thought about that as a marketer. But yeah, no, acquisition is so expensive. You got to move those people into a flow and convert them and get that second, third, fourth visit out of them. So yeah, it's really looking at everything. Anytime we have a restaurant that's challenged, or a restaurant that they think there's opportunity, I think a lot of times you think about your bottom 10% and not your top 10% that actually could be doing more. I think that's the flip side also is thinking a lot about the top restaurants and how you can even push them higher. Where they're potentially, the number one restaurant, can it be doing more? Probably. It's actually easier to do more in a high volume restaurant than do more in a low volume restaurant. It's easier to push more in from an operational standpoint.
Okay. So, all right. So loyalty, or at least some level of CRM, seems to be big with you, right?
Yeah. My whole life, it's been, I did email marketing, got Fishbowl back in the day, real old school. So that was that. In the grocery industry at Giant Eagle, we had a 5 million person loyalty program, best in class. I learned a ton from that award-winning grocery program and really try to take those ideas, and because you can drive a ton of business, and we're seeing that. We look at a person before they join the loyalty program and then after they join the loyalty program, and we see a significant increase in their spend.
What's the gist of your loyalty program? Is it like a points-based system, or like how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, it is points based. We pay, and this is a little, people will talk about, well, I don't do points based because I like surprise and delight, and we don't discount. We do points based because we want people to give us their data. So we do $5 when you sign up, and then for every $50 you spend, you get $5 back on your next visit. And the real reason for that is we're paying you to tell us you're there every time, because then we have a ton of campaigns under the hood running. Focused on increasing frequency, increasing spend, category depth, channel depth. So it's all a lot of AI driven campaigns under the hood. There's all day long, there is some machine and somewhere in the cloud cranking through data and developing campaigns and pushing people through flows in email and SMS. So it's really, you got to give some reason for people to swipe their card every time. And that's what we learned in the world of grocery. And that's what I kind of applied here is you got to give somebody a reason to swipe that card so that you can then run the plays on it. And we use a lot of sports analogies, being a sports bar, but I always say it's third and 10, and you're running the same play and expecting different results. Like you got to be running a lot of different plays.
Right. So, I mean, so I'm assuming you have a lot of like marketing automation going on, right?
Yeah. Paytronix is our partner, and we've got a ton of campaigns running with them. They're constantly launching new campaign ideas, but and I think, Rev, you heard me say this before, is if you've never bought a kids meal from us, we shouldn't be sending you kids meal advertising.
How do you know if they have kids or not?
Yeah, I mean, we do some append, but if we've never seen kids meals on your, if it's been a year and you haven't had a single kids meal, like you're not using, either you don't have kids or you're not using us for that experience, and we fit a different role in your life.
Right. So do you do any batch and blast emailing, or is everything like through automations and funnels?
No, we do batch and blast. I wouldn't call it as much blast because we're still running. We run some likelihood to open, likelihood to purchase calculations. So you're not going to get the email if you're not going to, if you don't look like you should open it, or you don't look like you're going to actually be able to come in. So there is some technology and analytics under the hood. It's not like we're taking the whole database and everybody's getting the same email.
Right. Now, are you running the same analysis automation plays for every store? Like, is it basically a customer? Okay.
Yep. And then we have additional campaigns running on different locations based on what their needs are. Yeah. So it's the power of marketing automation, which, my whole life we've talked about it, but the power to have it run and execute every day with really no work once you build it is pretty cool to see.
What's one of your favorite automation playbooks or tactics?
Yeah, I mean, we did a reactivation campaign. So we looked at people that were either lapsing or were showing signals of lapse. So there's a really cool, you look at people that have lapsed. This is really high tech analytics, but you look at people that have lapsed and you look at what signals they gave over like a 4-week prior period. And we ran a reactivation campaign. So we did a $5, an $8, and a $10 offer. And what we found out is that the $10 offer actually had the highest reactivation rate, but actually had the highest ROI. So it was, even though we gave away $5 more, it actually drove a higher average check.
Interesting.
And then we tracked those people over, I think, a next 8-week period, and the $10 people actually had more activation. Our finance people were thinking I was crazy giving $10 away. But the ability to go to your CFO, to go to your, we have investors, go to your investors who are like, why are you discounting, and show them the data. It ends the discussion real quick. I mean, another one we run, which was a pandemic thing, was we did BOGO pizza we did anything during the pandemic. I jokingly say we would sell you the artwork on the walls. We were just happy to get people to
an autograph sandwich.
Yeah, we would do. I mean, hey, you want to buy the building? We'd sell you the building. But we did this BOGO pizza, and on paper, it's like, why would you give away a pizza? Well, first off, pizza costs nothing to give away, but the average check on a BOGO pizza is like dramatically higher than the person that doesn't buy a BOGO pizza. So it's like you show the data, and when you have a finance or an investor, I think that's the power of data-driven marketing. Is the minute you show the data, the discussion, or even an operator, like, why are we doing this? Well, you show them the data, and the discussion's done. It's like I'm a big believer in the in God we trust, all others bring data. Quote, because it's like, the assumptions are a lot, or no one buys that in my restaurant. You start pulling it out. It's really powerful. And we've got some great tools under the hood that can let us show that data and really prove the value. Hey, we also have stuff that doesn't work, and it's okay to do that.
Do you know what percentage of your guests are in your loyalty program?
Yeah, we're running close to 20%.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah. I mean, hey, 15% is kind of, when you talk to people in the industry, it seems like 15% is the benchmark, because that's when it starts showing up enough that the staff notices it. And, they always say, well, other customers will see it and they say, what are they doing? But it's really the staff piece of it. But we have restaurants that run in the 50%.
Wow.
And yeah, it's unbelievable. But our restaurants, the highest restaurants in loyalty, also have some of our best performance. There is a strong correlation between it.
So when you're looking at 2 stores and you have a 50% and a 10%,
it's
what is it? Why is that happening?
It's the ability to communicate with their fans directly and drive that incremental purchase, that incremental visit. So, I'm not happy, because in grocery, we were at 95%, wow. In the 5% where you're like, where are these people that we can't find? But that was the world of grocery, and we did a lot to get there. And the easiest thing they did out of the gate was, you didn't get any of the weekly sales unless you're a loyalty member. That was like the easiest way to go from like 50 to 75%. And then it was a lot of work to get 75 to 95.
Yeah, well, that's a very coupon driven business. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very trade promotional driven. Everything's on sale every week. Yeah. But no, I mean, I think I'm a big fan of loyalty, especially in a brand that's smaller, that's spread out a lot of markets. I don't have the budgets of Chili's and Applebee's and TGI Fridays, and you keep going down the list. So it's like, how do I out punch my weight class? And loyalty's been a key piece to us to do that, because it's an effective and efficient way to communicate with people, and also to run campaigns to drive behavior change.
I could talk for hours about this.
I could talk for hours on it too. Yeah.
It is almost limiting to have us for 30 minutes, but all right. So do you have a loyalty and an e-club? Like somebody's just in your email, or is it just one thing?
We've got 3 things. So I'll walk through them. We have a loyalty program that is both e-club and SMS. Not everyone gives SMS opt-in, which is, I think that's the next horizon. But at some point, SMS is going to become like your inbox was spam. We have an e-club people that have signed up either through, at some point they signed up with this e-club, or through our Wi-Fi marketing. So we stage gate our Wi-Fi. If you want to get on our Wi-Fi, you got to give us an email address.
We do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, that was low hanging fruit, but then we try to convert those people to loyalty. And then we use a third party company called Data Delivers that takes our credit card data and is able to communicate with people via email. They've got a opt-in email list that they can connect with people through. That's
so a consumer has opted in somewhere else
to get messaging. Yeah, and it's all tied to credit card data.
Wow.
They call it pre-club, which is kind of a fun way to, it's like before they get you in the club. And I jokingly say with their team, like, I want to put them out of business because I want everyone in loyalty.
Right.
Like I only have to use them because I don't have everyone in loyalty. And then we run lots of campaigns where we get email addresses. When we open a restaurant, we do kind of playbook out of Chick-fil-A, where we give the first 100 people free sandwiches for a year. We get a bunch of emails out of that we dump into the system. So, but the ultimate goal is to get everyone into the loyalty program. That's like if I say whatever we do, we ultimately want you to in loyalty.
All right. So let's talk about guest data capture. Wi-Fi, you said you use,
Yep.
right? Getting people's email that way. I'm assuming online ordering is how you're getting.
Yep. Olo online ordering. Data Delivers, some Facebook stuff. We've tried some chat on Facebook, mixed results. There, I think it early on had some legs. I don't know if it still does, but those are really the big things. And then loyalty sign up. We run campaigns. We run, jokingly running contests. I used to think you had to give away cars and trips to get people to do things. I've now learned that it's as simple as giving away a t-shirt, or they don't have to wrap silverware tonight, and you get unbelievable results.
So like from your social media, you're running like a
server at the restaurant level. So we'll run restaurant level contests to get signups, and the winning restaurant gets like free t-shirts, which motivates. And we put competition. We put the numbers out there. They compete against other restaurants in the system. Very competitive culture. So that's a very effective way. We probably run 4 to 6 contests a year internally, just to try to build that muscle memory with our staff. So they're asking every time somebody's checking out, are you a member of the loyalty program?
Is that like from an in-store perspective, is that the number one way you're
That's
driving?
The best way. Yeah. Rubber meets the road. The best way, if I could get every single player, we call our team members players, every player to ask every single time, are you a member of the loyalty program? We would be, we'd probably be at 75% of the business.
Right, well, gotta have goals, right?
You do. And you look at the restaurants that do it the best, that's what they're doing. I mean, when you go in, they are like maniacal about asking. One of our top, we got all these terms. It's like the dictionary of Primanti today. The general manager is called head coaches. One of our head coaches built his own tracking report through NCR, so he can see on his phone who's getting loyalty signups in real time. And the guy's maniacal, but he's top of the pack every time, and he's also performing well, like one of our top performing restaurants.
That's amazing. One of the ways we do it at my spot, we use Viva Spot or iValuate, whatever you want to call it, for Wi-Fi. My people will literally walk up like, you guys know we have free Wi-Fi? Just go onto your phone. Like, don't even press e-club, loyalty, whatever. We just push people to Wi-Fi. They love it. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's, we continue to talk about like, okay, who doesn't want $5 off? Like, who doesn't want a discount? Find me the person that doesn't want a discount. Like, okay, well, and then we also have a ton of regulars. So it's like, if you're not asking your regulars just to join because they like you as a server or a bartender, then you're missing out. if you're like, hey, you just got to do this for me because we're running a contest. I need to win. So I need you to sign up.
That's amazing. All right. Again, a billion questions. When you're looking at your guest database, right? And you see a bunch of people who've only dined once, what's one of your favorite tactics or strategies to get the second visit?
Yeah, I think if we have their data, so we have a lot of times we have their credit card data pre them coming in. So we're tokenizing credit cards. So we at least know what their behavior looks like pre. We're matching that up once they tell us they're a loyalty member and swipe that loyalty card with a credit card. We're able to look at their data. But yeah, I think it's really giving them, we do, I think it's 3 or 4 visit campaign. That's different incentives. Because that's really a goal. If we can get you past 4, we know we got you locked and loaded.
So you're saying like an incentive for visit 2, an incentive for visit 3, an incentive. Okay.
Yep. I'll trigger it all based on in multiple paths. So there's lots of like, if you do X on visit 2, this is what you get. If you do Y, this is what you get. If you do Z, this is what you get. I'm not big on pushing.
The guest has an option.
Yeah. And I'm not big on pushing people in channels. We have very few people that start with us online. Most people come in restaurant, then move to online. So I know some people are big on like, well, visit 3, let's tell them about online. Well, no, if they're an in-restaurant person, let's get them to come back in restaurant. So yeah, we have a whole bunch of different offers. We're always testing. So we're always looking for what's better than what, test versus control.
Now, I'm sure a lot of people, myself included, would be like, I'm not giving you 4 discounts. I don't make money until the 5th trip. Like, does it work?
We make money. No, we make money every trip. So, I mean, very, very ROI driven. You look at it, when you look at the before, with and without offer, the people with an offer are always spending more than the people without an offer.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you think it's just because they think they're getting a deal, so they end up spending more, or they bring a friend? Like,
I think it's totally that. I think people go, hey, I'm playing with house money. So, I'm playing with $5 today or a free dessert. So let's get that extra beer.
I like beer.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also look at things that make sense. We never put items together because we've got a good data under the hood. We never put items together that don't make sense together. So we look at a lot of basket analysis and check analysis to try to not put items together that don't make sense to the fan. Man,
you don't sound like a marketer. You sound like a mathematician.
It's, got a great team behind the hood, great partners. So, it makes it easy to do.
That's awesome. All right. Earlier in our conversation, you talked about doing some digital advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Which channels are you using for that?
We're using primarily Facebook and Instagram. We've tried some display. We've tried some paid search, but when the day comes back, we continue to see Facebook and Instagram be our biggest drivers of people back in the door in acquisition. We haven't tried TikTok yet. I know that's like the next horizon. It's a resource issue. We've got a small team, and we try to focus on in small dollars to try to focus on the things that we know drive.
And are you running awareness ads, click ads, acquisition ads? What kind of ads are you running?
Yes, and yes. We're looking at who's in our restaurant, targeting them, but also building lookalike audiences, heavy lookalike modeling through Facebook, Instagram, and targeting them. Multiple messages going on, an ability to track which message is driving people back into the restaurant or online at the restaurant level. So pizza in Pittsburgh might work, but in Michigan, where we have restaurants, it maybe doesn't work. Maybe it's wings. So it's like making sure that the messaging, the imagery, what's best to buy at that restaurant level, and having different creative, different offers, different campaigns running at every restaurant.
So are you running an ad at a store level, or are you doing it like at a bigger, like a city level? How do you do that?
Depends on mostly store level, but we have density in a couple areas where we go city level. But really at the restaurant level, we're running different campaigns.
Wow. That sounds like a full-time job right there.
Yeah. We've got a great partner that helps us with it, that tracks using Wi-Fi technology, is able to track that you saw the ad and you actually showed back up.
So is it like a geo-targeting type thing, or?
No, it's the partner's at Dentro, used to be called Zenreach. Yeah. So they're feeding ads out, and then they know the person saw it, and then they get able to track the device when it comes back in.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
I use the level of creepiness metric, and like that's in the middle of creepiness, but it's but it gets around a lot of the changes Apple made with cookies. It solved that problem very fast, because you're still able to track people and know they saw the ad and they actually showed back.
So is Adentro running your ads as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Full bake.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, full partner for us, and building the models. I mean, along with our team, but also running the ads, just deploying the ads.
God bless. It's a lot of partners.
Yeah, no, I'm a best in class versus a one tool fits all guy. I think you are too.
Billion%. Yes.
Yeah. No, I'd rather find the best tool in that space versus and it's work. But a lot of these partners interface with each other, and they almost everybody interfaces with NCR today because they're the largest point of sale platform. So we're on NCR and everyone pretty much integrates into them, which helps.
How are you handling guest feedback?
We're using we've got I call it a pilot because we're like half our restaurants past pilot, but we're using Tattle for guest feedback. It's really powerful. I used to use SMG back in the day, and the feedback is great. The ability to see the issues at the restaurant level and see global issues, like it's eye opening. We're going to roll that out. But the ability for our coaches to be able to go in and actually respond right back to people and they actually give an offer, and then Tattle can track they actually showed back. Is pretty powerful. And then we do reviews. I mean, we review management, we respond to reviews. But yeah, Tattle's been really powerful. We've got, we get feedback on Facebook, feedback, email.
Well, and Tattle, is it just on receipts or are you using?
No, it's actually, it's triggered through. So today we triggered through 2 channels, any online order through Olo and any Paytronix transaction. It's not on receipts today. I think that's the next horizon. I think there's a world also with putting something in with third-party delivery to say, hey, give us your feedback, and then do some sneaky data capture there and convert those people to first party.
What is what is the percentage of third to first party
conversion?
Yeah,
very low. It's like, everyone thinks, put a bag stuffer in. There's a reason people are loyal to DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats. And I think Grubhub, it'll be interesting to see this whole Amazon Grubhub deal. I'm like waiting to see what happens. Grubhub's like the third for us. See if they can if Amazon picks that up, it helps them pick it up. But yeah, it's very low. People are loyal to the DoorDash platform. They don't go look for Primanti Brothers. They go look onto DoorDash and then see what they want.
Yeah, I saw some stats earlier this year that said, like, if you're converting between 1% and 4%, that's good.
Yeah. No, I think I'd be happy. But we're happy with the sales, and they have a role in our space, and we got to drive the top line.
God bless. All right, super quick because we're getting into the bottom here. Top 1 or 2 channels for new guest acquisition.
Facebook, I would say. Big success with Facebook and Instagram. Direct mail if you can afford it.
So when you say Facebook and Instagram, do you mean ads or organic?
Ads. Yeah. I mean, organic's there too, but ads are probably the biggest thing for acquisition.
All right. Top 1 or 2 channels for retention.
Loyalty is by far, especially if you're running the program right.
What is the frequency that a guest is getting a communication from the brand?
So if you say loyalty at least once a week, maybe twice a week. And then organic, we're posting 3 to 5 times a week, at least something organic and real time. We've got a great social media team that is out watched. Like, I feel like they're never sleeping because they are like out playing in the conversations and responding. And they had a great one last night about New England Patriots. As Pittsburgh Steelers fans, they made a really great New England Patriots jab last night. But that organic and Twitter, we're probably multiple times a day in Twitter making reposts and comments and feedback.
Just if you have a second, do you find that Twitter is really effective?
I don't know. It feels good.
That's half the battle, right?
I don't know. Facebook, we definitely know is effective, but I don't know about Twitter. It's fun.
Amen. All right. Well, Adam from Primanti Brothers, super excited. Thank you. I knew this was going to be a great show. I knew you'd have tons of tactics. I mean, we could probably go 3 hours on this topic.
I could go hours on some of these things.
Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a great day. And if you're listening to the podcast and you thought this was awesome, share it with somebody else who might enjoy it, and make sure you follow us if you want more of this. So thanks, Adam.